All right, what's up, ladies and gents? Jesse Ray here. What an exciting day. Mixland has a brand new plugin, 3348 tape. 99% of you have never used a 3348. You might not even know what that is. You're like, wait a minute, I haven't seen that plugin in UAD's folder. No, from the early 80s until I would say the late 2000s, 90% of the hits that you heard were mixed on a 3348 machine. So we went ahead, we modeled the 3348, the original 16-bit version. We modeled the 3348 HR, which was the 48-track 24-bit version. We modeled the X80, which was the original Mitsubishi digital tape machine in, I think, 1982. And many claim that this thing sounds way better than the Sony machines that came after it. And then we modeled some other machines in here too. We actually modeled about 12 different machines, and we chose our favorites because some of them just really didn't sound like anything. A lot of people were modifying the 3348 and putting the apogees in, like Bob Clearmountain, and we did that. We modeled it, and it truly didn't sound like anything. It sounded clean and clear, and what I'm going for with this is I wanted a tool that was going to be really, really colorful and just to add some instant edge and just add some bite and warmth and richness to the sound source. Even when Pro Tools came out and took over, like they claimed that this 3348 sounded better as a multi-track. We came up with a super, super radical trailer, and I'm going to play that for you right now. This was so fun to make. Here, check this out.
So you're telling me that tape machine was the sound of every hit record for 3 decades, and nobody's made a plugin of it yet?
A missing plugin in your chain to make your mixes sound amazing. Choose your A to D and D to A converters with oversampling and auto gain. The wait is over because we came along and modeled it. Now you gotta gobble up the 3348 tape.
That's so fun to do that. Shout out to Adrian who makes that video. I'll put a link to his work in the comments too. If you guys need any video, anything, he's just the mastermind behind all that stuff. All right, I just want to throw this thing on some sources and run through the features and show you kind of what this thing can do. Let's go for it. All right, I have the 3348 loaded up on our Mixbus right now, and this is a song by Ellie Buckner and Big Homie Band. This is an album that I just mixed. This song is called Out, a really incredible jazz fusion group from Minneapolis. My boys. I'm just going to throw this on the Mixbus and just play with some stuff. All right, I'm going to bypass the plugin and hit play on this track so you can get a feel for the music. And then I'm going to engage the plugin, and we're going to be able to kind of hear what's going on and hear the effect that it brings. The idea with this is this plugin has tons of headroom, and it'll load up without adding any level, but you will sense the added harmonics and the added weight in the low end. And as we drive into the input, you'll hear the richness and harmonics and warmth just kind of be introduced into the signal without taking away too much transient information. All right, let's start driving into the plugin a little bit with the input and output I/O linked. I like that right there. Warms up the signal a little bit. Let's hear it before and after. Before? There just appears to be more weight. Things latch on to the transients a little more. Just there's a little more intensity. All right, now that we kind of have our input set where we like it, we're hitting the machine kind of hard. We're getting some warmth. I want to flip through the different converter modes now to demonstrate the range of sonic options we have here. think the X80 mode is an absolute secret weapon, and the fact that this hasn't been turned into a plugin yet is just bananas. The X80, this plugin should almost be called the X80 just because of how powerful that mode is. I'm going to hit this one. We're going to set our input back to 0. We're going to just drive into the X80 and we're going to listen to what's going on here. This mode is so cool for just adding a heft to everything. So these old digital machines had de-emphasis and pre-emphasis modes that would kind of help you contour the high end to get rid of hiss, but to me it added this sort of effect, this like bit crushed top end transient latching sort of effect. So I'm going to turn that on. If we turn on emphasis, and we'll start by just turning it on and off, you can hear the difference of what's happening. And then we can use this frequency sweep to sweep through and really contour where the emphasis is taking place. And it's a really unique, weird effect. Sometimes when you just need a little bit of a lift, EQ might not do it. Sometimes you have to use some sort of very heavily textured, heavily saturated type of distortion in the top end to sort of invent frequencies and invent information that isn't always there. And this can be a really cool way to do it, especially with percussive transient material. I want to show off the bias parameter and just overall the different range of distortion effects that we can use within this plugin. So I have a bass instrument pulled up. It's just sort of a pulsing bass that you might find in some sort of R&B or EDM type track. Sounds like this. All right, let's engage the 3348 and let's just nuke the input. Let's get a whole bunch of gain on this bad boy. Cool, starts to get warmed up. You can really feel that kind of warm fuzzy thing happening. Listening to the way that this thing saturates low end is really indicative of the range of effects you can get with this plugin. So let's flip through the different converter models right now while we listen. I'm going to chill on the DA88 because that's really working nicely to my ears at least. And I want to adjust the bias. Under biasing the unit while driving it really hard gives just a nice soft slope and allows you to dig in a little harder without so much of the kind of nasty fuzzy artifacts. Let's flip through some of those now. Man, X80 just handles it, dude. It's so great. Here's my drum loop without anything right now.
Here's with the plug.
So if I really zoom in and show you when I'm playing it versus when I'm not playing it, you can hear how incredibly subtle the stock setting of this thing is. Again, I wanted people to be able to throw this on their mix, no matter how loud the mix is, and really be able to just get an instant, like 2% enhancement. And then you can dial from there. Let's drive into it and find a mode that we like. Man, that one really lights everything up. And then over here on the meters, we actually have 6 frequency points that I've just really decided I love and that I think are really unique frequency points that you don't see a lot of the time. And they just are incredibly expressive, especially for just adding intensity to drums. So let's play around with that a little bit. Let's sculpt the sound of this with these incredible filters. We're going to turn emphasis on and we're going to sweep around and you'll really be able to start to hear that vintage digital sound as things break up in the top end. Yeah, that really does sound like vintage digital clipping. Found that actually just turning the focus of the emphasis, like turning that frequency point up higher, kind of acts as a mix knob and kind of can dull the effect of that. So, you know, if it around 2.5 to 3K, it's a little too intense, too spiky, too hyper present on that transient, we can just move that frequency point up and still get a little bit of that effect, but not too much. Let's try this on a male vocal.
I said the countdown is over now. I said the countdown is over now. I said the countdown is over now. I said the countdown is over.
And let's turn on the oversampling to 16x. We don't want any aliasing on the vocals.
I said the countdown is over now. I said the countdown is over now. I said the countdown is over now. I said the countdown is over now.
Limiting, I've found on this plugin, the limit mode is absolutely incredible for vocals, for getting the signal smoothed out so that you can drive enough of it into the tape without, you know, certain peaks overloading the signal and adding unwanted, unpleasant distortion. Let's hear that before and after. Here's without.
I said the countdown is over now. 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 I said.
Incredible. Now let's use a little bit of the EQ to just shape this vocal and get a little bit of sparkle in there.
I said the countdown is over now. 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 I said the countdown is over now.
All of our plugins work this way, where the engine has the EQ filters feeding directly with how the saturation behaves, right? Before and after, here we go.
I said the countdown is over now. I said the countdown is over now. I said the countdown is over now. I said the countdown is over now.
Amazing. Let's flip through a couple other presets.
I said the countdown is over now. 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 I said the countdown.
Man, it's really nice. Man, it's just enough to add that extra 5%. It's not a brighter sound or a louder sound. It's just harmonically excited. And by having that limit functionality with something like a piano or a spiky, strummy acoustic guitar, this thing could really level stuff out, park it into a place where it's going to be useful and usable in a mix, and then allow you to excite it and drive it with the overtones and the harmonics of this plugin to really let it kind of stand out in the mix. I really freaking love this thing, man. I'm so excited you guys get to try this. Please be dropping some comments and letting me know if you're enjoying it too. That's a whole lot of application for this thing. I'll be really curious to see what it ends up being your favorite on, so let me know. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out today. We'll see you soon. Bye.